alive?
Well, now, really, when we go back then to falling in love and say it's crazy, falling, you see, we don't say rising into love. There is in it the idea of the fall. And it goes back, as a matter of fact, to extremely fundamental things. That there is always a curious tie at some point between the fall and the creation. Taking this ghastly risk is the condition of there being life. You see, for all, the life is an act of faith and an act of gamble. The moment you take a step, you do so on an act of faith because you don't really know that the floor is not going to give under your feet. The moment you take a journey, what an act of faith. The moment you enter into any kind of human undertaking and relationship, what an act of faith. See, you've given yourself up. But this is the most powerful thing that can be done. Surrender. See, and love is an act of surrender to another person. Total abandonment. I give myself to you. Take me. Do anything you like with me.
Look at me. Look at me. Use your senses, I'm not telling you where I am. I'm a mess and I feel more like hiding. And it wouldn't mean the world if you just tried to find me. Try to find me. Please just use your senses, I'm not telling you where I am. I know that I'm difficult, insecure. That don't mean that I don't want you around me. I know that I'm sensitive, emotional. That don't mean that I don't want you around me. It means I need you around me more. I'll say nothing to you. It's hard enough as is. Without all these extra feelings regarding you, it's hard enough as it is. 'Cause I still love you. I know that I'm difficult, insecure. That don't mean that I don't want you around me. I know that I'm sensitive, emotional. That don't mean that I don't want you around me. It means I need you around me more. I'll say nothing to you. It's hard enough as it is. 'Cause I still love you. 'Cause I still love you. Silent clap.
It be like that. It be like that sometimes.
Well, now, really, when we go back then to falling in love and say it's crazy, falling, you see, we don't say rising into love.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
There is in it the idea of the fall.
Yeah.
And it goes back, as a matter of fact, to extremely fundamental things. That there is always a curious tie at some point between the fall and the creation. Taking this ghastly risk is the condition of there being life. You see, for all, the life is an act of faith and an act of gamble. The moment you take a step, you do so on an act of faith because you don't really know that the floor is not going to give under your feet. The moment you take a journey, what an act of faith. The moment you enter into any kind of human undertaking in relationship, what an act of faith. See, you've given yourself up. But this is the most powerful thing that can be done. Surrender. See, and love is an act of surrender to another person. Total abandonment. I give myself. Take it away with anything you like.
Baby, wrap your hands around my waist. Make me feel sexy, baby. Make me go insane. 'Cause I know that it's all required. And I'll do my best to try to hide it. Baby, wrap your hands around my waist. Make me feel sexy, baby. Make me go insane. 'Cause I know that it's all required. And I'll do my best to try to hide it. In my daydreams, you say baby, and I wake up next to you. In my daydreams, you say baby, and that you really love me too. In my daydreams, you say baby, and it feels so right to you. And when the night hits, I feel constant, 'cause I don't mean the same to you. Baby, wrap your hands around my waist. Make me feel all sexy, baby. Make me go insane. 'Cause I know that it's all required. And I'll do my best to try to hide it. No, baby, wrap your hands around my waist. Make me feel sexy, baby. Make me go insane. 'Cause I know that it's all required. And I'll do my best to try to hide it. I'm thinking that we need to cut it off. We're getting too close, and in the end we'll just fuck it up. I'm getting too close, and in the end I'll just fuck it up. You're getting too close, and in the end you'll just fuck it up. We just fucked it up, oh. And I've been smoking, I've been drinking, I've been thinking, I've been writing it down on this pad and paper, hoping it would sink in. Everything we ever had is over. Everything we never had is over. I shouldn't have come to your place. You shouldn't have come to my place. Now I see the look in your face, same look on my face. Now we stuck in this place, baby. Now we stuck in this place, babe. If it's your fault, then it's also mine. If you're to blame, then so am I. When did you feel like it was over? Were you drunk or were you sober? And I should have caught you
abrupt. That was abrupt.
This is live.
Live. Can't get this shit nowhere else. Excuse me on my language.
I think my tooth decay, baby. I think my tooth decay, baby. I think my tooth decay, baby. Grab my heart and fade with me, baby. Baby, baby. And can you make some time for me? 'Cause I've been getting lonely, trying to piece my life together, but at night I do get horny. Cause I've been on this late night, candlelight, body popping out of sight, drunk as hell, I'm not well, save me before I end up in jail. Grab my heart and hold it too, don't be scared, I will take care of you. Grab my heart and hold it soon, don't be scared, 'cause I will do right by you. Baby, I won't pressure you, 'cause I know you feel the same way that I do. Grab my heart and hold it soon, don't be scared, I know you want me to. I've been on this late night, candlelight, body popping out of sight, drunk as hell, I'm not well, save me before I end up in jail. Grab my heart and hold it too, don't be scared, I will take care of you. Grab my heart and hold it soon, don't be scared, 'cause I will do right by you.
Yeah. Okay, way backers.
Way backers.
That was a way to set a tone. And I promised I wouldn't, but woo! Studio B is hating me right now. That is completely fine. Good evening, Waybackers. My name is Adam, and welcome to the Wayback Sessions. Season 5. Yes. You know we like to keep it different, and tonight we have already set the tone. As usual, we will be monitoring the chat with Studio B, so if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you wish to discuss anything with tonight's artist, with the show, etc., please pipe in. You know there is a donation link in the descriptions of this video, so if you are so inclined to support live music, tonight's artist, and the Wayback Sessions, we do ask that you would please go to thewaybacksessions.com. You can become a monthly contributor, or you can, Venmo. It's all in the descriptions. Thank you. Now, yes, you hear her laughing. Mm-hmm. It is time to introduce TRUVONNE to the show.
Hello. What's good? What's good? What's going on?
It's so good to have you on.
I'm so happy to be here.
We've been hanging out a bit lately, and I just kind of wanted to dive directly into everything because right now I don't know if I was supposed to scream, if I'm supposed to clap, maybe a snap, I don't know. but let's just dig in a little bit to the inspiration, the direction.
Sure.
What helps
going
you
on?
make this music?
What's happening?
Yeah.
What's actually going on?
I know that all the
Yeah.
Waybackers out there, and thanks for watching. I know you're out there, Tom and Joy and Tyler. You guys are awesome. But help us understand and explain, what are we doing? What path are we going down right now?
100%. I mean, the basis of my music is, first of all, experimentation. It's looking at different textures, looking at different sounds, different frequencies, and kind of seeing what makes sense and then pitching those to kind of what makes a song, like what makes everything in key, what makes everything make sense. It's a lot of different frequencies, though I will say it's always starting with some type of sound and kind of just molding that and going with it. It's a lot of different, sound design type of stuff.
So, is there anything being not being 100% up to speed on this? I'm sure there's plenty of people laughing at me right now. And I try not to ever head in a direction of comparisons because I think that in music, that's not good. However, is there anything, can you connect? What made you go in this direction with your music? Was there an inspiration as far as a single artist or a group of artists or a genre that made you go, yeah?
100%. It's so crazy because I started out 100% acoustic. 100% acoustic. I just had my guitar and I was terrible. I didn't know what was going on. And I was just kind of playing do. And to be honest, Justin Azuka was probably the number one on my list.
Okay.
Because he said something that always triggered me. He says that his vocals are kind of a landscape for the music. Everything molds into one. The music is supposed to just be that type of fluidity and that type of compass. But then, I kind of branched out a little bit. I started listening to Chet Faker. I started listening to Bon Iver, and I started listening to a lot of people that did things live in that way, Elliot Moss, and a lot of things that just molded into each other, and they did a lot of stuff electronically live, and that was always fascinating to me. We're not even getting to the music.
Right.
Electronically,
just almost how they're doing it in the physical
what? I'm like, how are they even able to do that?
Yeah.
But then I did start to listen to more of their music and then started getting into the actual aspect of making it. And that kind of started molding into what it was live.
Yeah.
Because I was like, all right, so I made this song, I made this record, however it sounds. It's how would I even present this to a live audience? And that was bruh. That was a journey.
I can.
That was a journey.
Only imagine the first time you stepped out.
The least.
We're like, hey,
here
I am.
The amount of mess ups. I can't even describe. It was a journey. So to even get to this point is all right, cool. You're not basic.
So, I've had the pleasure of spending some good quality time with you over the past few weeks, and we've stumbled upon a bunch of cool conversations in here, and one of them was really the departure in direction from previous earlier works of TRUVONNE to what's happening more these days. And I know that you have been, you are in the music business. You are selling things. You're working with Fox. You're dealing with a lot of television stuff. And I think, actually, I don't think, I know that first set we just experienced was a former career section in time. And now I believe we're going to move into another portion of your career in time.
Yeah.
Do you want to speak to that briefly? And then.
Yeah, actually, because it's kind of insane. Like when you first start music, depending on where you are, you look at it as a way to release. You look at it as a past way to be able to express yourself and to be able to say, whatever you want to say, whatever, thing you want to come up with. But to be honest, what's crazy is as you go throughout your career, the avenues that open up based on your music and the avenues that just end up happening is fascinating, especially if you want to make money doing this. It just goes in this direction that you would have never thought of.
See, I don't think that they just happen. I think
right.
that I think that is something that you cultivate and you build and you chase. So give us a brief introduction, and then I'm going to hand the show back to you. Yeah. And I know we do have more music. I'm not even going to fool around.
100%.
So
no play.
Let's go into the next set and tell us a little bit about what we hear, and then we'll discuss on the backside.
100%. One thing I will always say, and one thing people have always said, is that my music is atmospheric to the point where it does look like it's always being played in the back of some type of scene. Yeah. Whether it's a movie scene, commercial scene, it's played in the back of something happening.
It's emotional too.
That's where you get into like the TV stuff and where that direction kind of happened. Is it does look like it's supposed to be somewhere. Who the F knows where? You get what I'm saying.
You're so awesome. I love your voice. The show is yours. What do we have next?
All right, man. We got Crazy Love next.
Yeah.
If anyone knows it, I mean, if you listen to me, you probably know the song. Yeah. All right, here we go.
That's why I'm crazy, love. 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 Don't tell me that it's alright. Don't tell me I'm it on mine. Don't tell me I ain't seeing right. I got 20/20, I see fine. It's clear you're cheating on me. It's clear you're cheating on me. It's clear you're cheating on me. It's clear you're cheating on me.
Wow. You know, get that right. Thanks. Out of control. Drive. You know, funny story about this one before I even start. I just gotta say, I do have to say, like, it's crazy. This song is wild. Like, when you're at home and you're kind of just in your bunker, is what I call it, because you're kind of just surrounded by the same stuff you've been surrounded by, whatever. There was a picture of the Brooklyn Bridge. I'm pretty sure it's the Brooklyn Bridge. I don't know. And it's just sitting there, and you're just looking at it, and it's blurred. I think that's the cool part about it. It's just blurred. And you're wondering what these people are doing. Like, are you getting pizza at 2 a.m.? Are you drunk? Are you passing out? Are you throwing up on the side of the bridge because you're just trying to get some relief? And there's something about that made this song specifically. And I was so happy with the placements that happened with this song because it just seemed to go and people felt it in a different type of way. And I think that that impacted me a lot because the way this song was found, it was just because I'm just wondering what they're doing, because I know what I was doing, because I, lived back on the East Coast, and that's a different type of energy, and this song is very, like, it means a lot to me. So that was all. That's all I had to say. Cut the lights off. That's all I had to say. Goddamn. Yeah. Make sure this shit goes right.
Describe this song, even if my hands don't come close. it goes like, and it feels like, is this a crime of passion? We have no inhibitions, and it goes like, and it feels like, and it goes like, and it feels like. Could you just take a drive with me? Go fast so I don't feel a thing. When the sun's down, let's get no sleep. Hope there's no place you have to be. And it goes like, and it feels like, and it goes like, and it feels like. Can we just drive? 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 Can we just drive?
Gotta work on those stops. It's abrupt. That shit said that song is over. Like, done. Wow, that's a little bro. Gotta work on that.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my gosh, Atlanta.
You're still going, right? We got another one.
We got another one, bro.
Queued up. All right.
Yeah, we got another one queued
Show
up.
is yours. You know that, though.
Queued up, though, bro. This
right.
one, honest. You know what's crazy? I'm gonna say it. So what's crazy about this one, I'm gonna say, is like I remember writing this one, and the first thing I thought was like, man, like I'm not feeling myself so much right now. Like I'm not feeling myself. I'm not too hot right now. You know, I'm like, man, COVID really put on that extra COVID 20, and it really started packing on. And I was like, oh, I'm not feeling it. And what's wild about this one, I will say, is like, how do you feel this in a way that is authentic, but also not in a way that's slow? Because you could just not be hot with yourself and still be twerking in the back. And I think, and I low-key think that's like highly important. You can still twerk in the back and still have that little extra weight that's twerking with you. So I feel like this song really meant a lot to me, and I was super stoked that it got picked up. But like, you know, that's kind of this one. I'm really stoked about this one. This is the very first song, I will say, that I actually was able to record, do everything in my room. That's a huge thing. Huge thing. Because I have a fantastic engineer that I go to for everything with vocals, and he mastered this one. But this was the first time that I mixed and did everything vocally by myself. And I was like, all right. It made me feel good because I'm like, all right, well, you know, that means this is a possibility by myself. Kinda. Let's not get wild. But either way, this song's called Honest because, you know, let's be honest. Let's be real. So here we go.
I'm being honest. If I'm being honest, I wish that I could be myself more often. I'm never really honest. Relying to yourself, you know, it's costly. If I'm being honest, yeah, I got some problems. At least I'm being honest. Yeah, I got some problems. Never thought I could be. I guess that I don't like myself too often. All the self-loathing. I have versions of myself that I'm not proud of. If I'm being honest, yeah, I got some problems. At least I'm being honest. Yeah, I got some problems. Oh, at least I'm being honest. How could I love someone else when I don't love myself that much, that often? I risk all my health just so I don't have to face the truth myself. Oh, and if I'm being honest, yeah, I got some problems. At least I'm being honest. Yeah, I got some problems. At least I'm being honest. If I'm being honest.
Oh, you got that rhythm.
At least I'm being honest.
Ooh. Ooh. Hey, that rhythm, Adam, bro, you didn't tell me you got the shakers like that. You told me you might be shaking and grooving, but you didn't tell me about all
Look,
that.
you know, I love that back here. You know, I
Bro.
love a big fan of that. I like to play the shaker. So, you
Bro.
know, we've got kind of in love with your voice.
Oh, God.
And
that what
I'm not going to go that direction even, unless the audience takes us there, because we're going to, it's time, the part of the show, we're going to check in with Studio B here in a moment. You know, down the hall, two doors to the
course.
left, Kat and Jake are back there handling things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in this segment, I've been really, really excited to dig in.
Right.
I want to get into the music business side of things.
Okay.
I want to get into how it's changed, your
into it.
approach,
Oh,
which
God.
initially I was thinking it might have changed your style, but I as I've thought about it over the past couple of weeks since we've been talking, I'm not sure it's really your style as much as your approach. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Oh my gosh, it's just so crazy.
Like this is fun. So
because you know, musicians, like, you know, you change your stuff so often, but like, you know, it changes so much, and you look back at, like, you can even look back 2 months, you know, let alone 2 weeks, and
years,
it's different.
Yeah.
But to your point, the direction that your music goes, and the direction that pays you money, and the direction, all of
Yeah.
that is different.
You took me where I was wanting to go. You know, it ends up being a topic of conversation
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
studio quite often with a
Right.
bunch of different bands, and you know, everybody's at a different point in
Right.
all of that. So I do want to get on that, but let's see if you know, the audience has any smart questions. Studio B, are you out there? Can you hear us?
Yes, we're here.
Hey, hey, good to
crying.
hear. Good to hear. Hi, Kat.
God, yes.
You're looking beautiful tonight. I love that
thank you.
beret.
Thank God. Thank
Yeah,
you.
big fan of the
Look at
berets.
French.
So, hey, what's going on out in Chit Chat Land?
Oh, we've got some great questions.
I know. And I was like, I'm still trying not to step on your thunder because I do that. So I'm not reading the comments, even though I might have.
I'm sure you have, actually. You can't help yourself. There was a sweet one from David saying, a whole lot of feeling in her style, that twinkle in her eye.
It was the twinkle in the eye. I knew you were
I-
going to pick up on
did
that.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, it's real. It's real.
Yeah.
And where can we catch some live shows? Cliff wants to know.
We're going to be talking about in this segment
Okay.
as well. Yes, absolutely.
All right, Cliff, just a second. And Joy wanted to know who's doing the graphics. Well, I'm doing the graphics. I'm doing everything.
Right. She's
However-
out
What
here.
she's
She's
doing.
out here handling
Yeah,
it.
you know what?
But-
Kat,
Yeah, let's talk about the graphics and where they came
yeah, you should
from.
chat because
Yeah.
so it's a bunch of technological, magic happening in the background.
Right.
Where
Yeah.
physically, Kat is handling all the video production on the show. So she's the one moving the
Right.
cameras, putting all of the different cool stuff that you're seeing, and triggering the graphics. But true.
Right.
A lot of those graphics are coming from those pretty killer videos. Let's talk about that because
Yeah.
you brought those in for us to use.
Yeah, that even in itself, right? The direction, it's, oh my gosh. But it's crazy because I graduated college and I played basketball and I thought that was it. I thought that was the direction. I thought that was a wrap. I thought that's where I was going. And that is not the case. So I was not the case. Your girl was crippled. So it's wild to think like music videos, I always thought were cool, but I think I was just so over the performing in front of a camera. So I really wanted to experiment with film, experiment with a story, experiment with what it would look like if it's from start to finish, it looked like there was actually a story being told. And that's where it really started. So the song that I'm going to play, not yet, is where that all kind of generated from, is because I'm like, all right, storytelling is so important. And I think it's something that doesn't really be talked about that often.
The story is king.
Storytelling
King.
of a song, let alone an album, that's a different caliber of a skill to storytell with your album.
Correct.
I'm not even going to go there.
And there's some great bands doing a few great things out there.
Huge. It's huge. So I think that in itself obviously tells a different, type of narrative. But with the story, I really did want to get into animation. I was super into it. I was, funny enough, I was like, you know what? F it. I'm going to do this shit myself. And I was like, let me just get this program real quick. Bro, what a
How'd that
joke.
work out?
It didn't. What a joke. I legit thought like, all right, well, maybe if I put a couple things, such a joke, bro.
Yeah.
Such a joke. These animations, I found some great animators from the UK,
Well, see, this-
California. Yeah.
Yeah, and this starts to pivot into the you're willing to put in some time that other artists possibly aren't. I know we talked about
it
that.
because it takes a lot of time. Because even if you think about, let's not even put in
It's
the animation
unfun
part.
stuff, right? The unfun part.
Well, what I realized is it's not just the animation. It's not even just like, all right, I'm gonna make like an animator. I'll pay an animator to do this. It's more so like, where's the animation coming from? So when I realized that the animator's actually doing the physical drawing of each thing and then creating the animation, and I realized this takes 4 months, 6 months,
Yeah.
this takes a year. It takes time. That's when it really just opened up a world for me. And, it really did take a lot of time. And I will sit there on Instagram, on any channel for like a couple of hours. And I will find those people. Like, I will sit there and I will try to dig, and I'll find those people and like, eventually
Well, that's how we
they'll
got
come up
hooked up.
to, hey, bro, I was like,
right?
because sometimes you have to do that. You have to just dig through. Like, you have your channels, you have your people, you have your world.
Yeah.
But like, what are you trying to do? Like, if I'm looking for animators, like, I'm not going to find it in my world. That's not going to happen.
No, you're really good at that. You reached out to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it did take 9 months, and I will be
Yeah.
honest. The only reason you weren't on here earlier is that I've been just like trying to figure out how the heck I was going to do
His
this.
condolences. It's crazy. He's like this. Listen, I'm just saying.
I don't
just
know
saying.
how this is going to work. I don't know what
I'm
to
not
do
just
with
wearing
you.
socks. I'm wearing socks. It's cool.
I want you on,
fine,
but
Adam.
I don't know what to do. Hey,
Yeah.
Studio B, anything else out there we should pay attention to before I take this off
yeah.
into the nether regions?
Yeah, there are a few other questions.
Oh, fire away.
Pam wanted to know, what is your inspiration for combining all of these aspects?
Oh, 100%. So the biggest thing was, like I said,
It's a big question.
Yeah, it is. I would say Justin Zucker and Chet Faker. I'm only saying those people in Bon Iver because I've listened to literally every single one of their albums multiple times, and the amount of things that they bring in from it, I don't even know what to say, from different sectors. They'll bring this bass in, then they'll bring this like synth in, and they'll bring these keys in, and for them to do a song, it takes months to do a song. And that's what's so crazy with, I know we'll probably get into this, but you know, TV or commercial work, any commercial work, it's
we're
on
headed
demand.
there.
It's on demand. I'm not going to speak too much into it, but what I love about the craftsmanship is it takes months and it could take years. And you're looking for all these different sounds and these different constructs, and you're waiting for things to actually make sense. And you might leave a song, because I will tell you, I have a bunch of songs in here that probably will never be touched, or I'll touch them maybe a year later.
Right.
That they're just sitting there.
Yeah.
But it takes that time to where it's like maybe it took 8 months for me to re-listen to that song and be like, oh, I know where I'm going. And I think that's actually just development of being an artist, that it takes that time to be able to be like, all right,
Yeah.
I can hear where this is going.
Studio B, anything else out there?
Travis had a question about, what is the process like for writing for TV?
Travis, I'm glad you asked.
He's
Look
gonna-
at that. You
he's
know
gonna
what?
bug out. He's
The audience always takes over. So before I get to digging in deeper, I want to get to any other tasty tidbits in the chit chat land, because I'm getting ready to go off the charts.
Everybody's loving your voice. They're loving the
big
sound.
fan. Me
Great.
too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Thanks
And
everyone for tuning in.
And thank you all
titties out
way
there.
backers. And you know, the crazy thing is that you know, I've listened to so much of TRUVONNE's music over the past few months that we've been working to put this show together. And you know, I'm like, okay, you know, I get it, I see it, whatever. But there's something much different than having this music being played 10 feet away from your face and live. You know, I don't know if it actually translates over the live stream or not, but it is much more powerful and a much deeper response than I was anticipating sitting here with you doing this. So
was
now
crazy.
let's get into the nasty side of the music business and TV, because it's
yeah.
pretty awesome. And you
do
know,
it.
I said something the other day when we were hanging out, and I said, you know, I always talk about, you know, these days it's like 51% or 49% talent, 51% music business. And you looked at me and you laughed and you said, you're being kind. And I said, okay, it's probably 75-25.
Oh.
And you felt that was more accurate. So you had serious success with many TV shows. You've got success on Spotify. You've been selling songs. You've worked with Fox Television closely. And, you know, I think that what the audience, in particular, Travis, is looking for is like going back to the very first segment. How have things changed in your approach to music from when you started to now, where you're actually selling it, making money, being successful, getting it on television, dealing with rights, et cetera, and then I want to get into that Fox 48-hour challenge.
To be honest with you, I feel like that is the biggest question of my entire life, because I will tell you right now, when I was writing, like I was an English major in college. So when I was writing, there was a specific tone of rhetoric that I was using that's specified, if you will, you know, a specific emotion. So everything had to do with that emotion, and it rode out in that way. Producing, I was terrible at, but for some reason, and I will say this, no matter how minimal the production was, I feel like, I gotta say this, I feel like the words were so much more like, oh my God, like oh, you felt like that? Like, damn, how was 2000, you know, whatever for you? Like, I feel like that was actually a different emotion. And that's something, it's so crazy. That's something that you can't really, that you have that. Like, you say that, you have that. And I think Crazy Love was the first song to be synced about 6 years ago or so. And that was the first song to take it to that level. And, you know, I just got reached out to, and that was the song that got synced.
Really?
And I was like, all right. And I was thinking, like, you know, I've heard syncs before, like maybe 20 seconds. No, this was used for a minute. My very first sync was a minute at the end of a scene that was like a storytelling scene.
Yeah.
Like, it was the end of, it was Good Trouble, the spin-off of The Fosters, but, like, I forgot, I think it was season 1, I think it was episode 3 or so, episode 2 or 3, but it was such a scene. It was such a dynamic scene. And they were making out in the pool, kissing, swirling around. I'm talking about a scene that you had to do takes on. Like, they weren't just partying in the club. They were out there in the pool. They were spinning in circles. They were doing stuff that I couldn't do.
Did you know this when they bought your song?
No! That was my first realization of when you get a sync, bro,
like,
you're not going to know until like a week ahead of time. We had a whole party. All my best friends were there. We had a whole party for it. And you didn't even know if it was going to make it or not. And we watched it, and I was like, and mind you, it was like the end of the episode. So I'm like, damn, bro, it's going to be embarrassing if I bought expensive ass Jose Cuervo for this? Silver? And I'm like, oh my God, silver? And I'm like sitting there like, oh,
nope.
Shit, this might not go through. It did. And it was at the very end, and we had to turn it up, and it was for a minute straight. And I was like, oh my gosh. Biggest thing, no offense, but it's like the biggest thing, and then everything after that is just like a letdown. Like, you get paid, and then it's like, 10 seconds, and you're like, all right, well, I guess I did it. But to that point, when you start making it and you start, making songs, it changes your,
your outlook on
it changes
how to
your
approach
ear.
it? Yeah.
It changes your ear because then, I started watching shows, and I love TV. Like, it's one of the things I actually love. I will sit down and watch TV. I love TV. So I'll sit down and watch TV, and I'll hear the songs. And before, it was like, oh, this is cool. But then when I started syncing more stuff, my ear changed. And then when I got that cool, that Fox thing, it was just super cool.
So is it a kind of a shift from maybe making art for art's sake into, I'm understanding, this might be the wrong word, but understanding how to manipulate my art in order to direct it properly for a specific focus?
100%.
Okay.
100%. You actually start to listen to things differently because it's a different format. So when you start to do things and you start to listen to things and you start to actually make things for, let's say, for TV, like you get an opportunity and you get to, like, all right, one song a day, you get to actually make stuff for a specific show. You have a brief that says, we want this, 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 and this. As a producer, okay. As an artist, you have to just throw that up and you got to be like, all right, cool. And then you start making that, it actually does change. It took me a very long time to be able to come back and be like...
No, it's a different thing. It's that's that business mind versus the artistic mind.
Yeah.
In the struggle that I see with artists being able to combine that on a balancing percentage to be able to satisfy artists for artist's sake, at the same time being able to make a living and push out and produce. So... I want to transition a little bit into there was a 48-hour period. You did a really interesting session with Fox. Well, you can keep it on. I mean, we're gonna get back to the music pretty quick because somebody's gonna start yelling about the dude in glasses talking too much. I answered that comment on one of our videos today. Tell the dude in glasses to shut up. I said we will tell Adam to shut up. But I am curious about that because I know that we talked about that, and it was, I believe, a 48-hour period that, a 48-hour period that you had to kind of like, almost like a songwriting challenge, it sounded like. Yeah, you with me? No, we're having technical issues.
No, we're not
this
even
is
having
what
a technical.
happens.
No, I literally just like
step
stuck
on
it
your
under my
cord
armpit
and you pulled it out.
This is not anybody
Okay.
else but Gab.
So you know where I'm going with that.
yes,
So give us
yes.
that. Like, how did you get the opportunity, and then what was that like?
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool. I got hit up on Instagram, and you know, you have to always be weary about anyone that hits you up on anything at this point nowadays. So it was really cool though. I met her, and it was just one of those like really cool things where, hey, you know, we're gonna make songs, and they're gonna stick you with a group, and you're gonna with a group of amazing people. Like I can't say who, but it's amazing people. We're like, no way. Okay. Okay. And you're stuck with those groups. And I was lucky enough to be in a group by myself because I do produce music. So I was in my own group. And it was really cool, you know, where, you know, they pop in and they kind of tell you what they're looking for. And, you know, you kind of have a day to make a song to that brief. And it's a 2-day, you know, thing. And
2 day, 48
it was
hours.
the most, it was probably the most like producer exercise you could ever get because they could come in and say, you know, I don't really like that.
What you were saying, somebody might pop in for 20, 30 seconds and be like, yes, this, no, that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're out of here.
Even like if you think about like 15 to 20 minutes maybe where they listen to it and they're like, you know, why don't we hold on. Okay. What if we had this? All right. What if we had the drums here maybe and we heard, you know, the bass come in here, let's scrap this whole section, and we had this here. And then that might be 2 hours in and they leave and it's like,
But I did so much already.
well, it's like, based on what you told me, I actually have to scrap the whole thing. So I'm like, okay. And there I am, you know, 4 Heinekens in. And I'm like, well, let's fucking do this. And I'm just like, all right, let's do this. And, you know, it's the most, I got to be honest, I'm an adrenaline junkie. So I was just like, all right, well, that ain't it. And you just make it. And I wish I could play this here. Obviously, I can't. But I just, like, it's insane. And
Right,
it did work out.
You're
but
not allowed to play that. It's
No.
not yours. You have
It is
nothing.
not mine. I have no rights to it.
You made it. You sold it.
That's it.
Done.
Done.
Contract.
Done. I
Can't
don't owe
play it
anything
live,
to it. I can't play any of it. Nope.
No rights.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. So I think that's the most interesting part too. Is you have to think about it. I was talking to my publishing agent, and he was telling me, you know, the first thing that he told me was, if you do this, he was like, I know who you're working with. I trust them. That was the thing too. I did have to check in because I wanted to make sure it didn't go left with my contract that I already had.
Yeah.
But also, like, do you know these people? And he said, oh yeah, I know these people. Make sure when you do this, you make something that you are not attached to. Make sure that you are not in love with this because it's not yours.
I think that might have been the
Yeah.
best piece of advice
Yes.
that anybody that's listening to us
100%.
right now
100%.
To attach to being unattached.
Yes. To say the least. Because I was it was crazy. Is like
That's hard as
the
an
second
artist.
song. I low key did get I loved it, but it's kind of interesting as a producer on that aspect. It's kind of like I didn't even at the end of it. And I listened to those 2 songs, and I'm like, I didn't even know I could make something like that. Like I knew I can get out of my realm.
Yeah.
I can get out of my realm easily. Like I'm actually waiting to get out of my realm.
Teach
With
me.
something like this. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, what do you want? Poppy? Jumpy? You want hype? You want to be
Let's go.
happy?
Let's go.
I could be happy for a second. Hold on 1 second. Let me put on a different hat and get out of this fucking depressed state that I'm in. And let me just make this song. You know, it's kind of one of those things, but it's, you know, but when I listen back, I'm like, wow, I had no idea that was even possible, to be honest. Just the state of production, because that is not even just like you're not making stuff for yourself, you're not making stuff for whatever. It's a different structure.
Yeah.
You're
It's
not
a-
even in the same structure.
A different focus, a different
You're looking at
motivation,
2
a
minutes.
different payoff, a different everything.
2 minutes, maybe 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and you're looking at different things. 30 seconds, verse, cutoff, drop, space, drop, drop, space, drop, space, end.
There you are.
And you're like, in my songs, it's like,
That might take a while.
vibe, a minute 30. Vibe still, chorus, maybe.
Might
10
take a while
seconds.
to build.
yeah, exactly. And you're like, so I think that definitely impacted my songwriting. Like, my writing has not been the same just because I'm in that constant thought process of, well, this might sound good, you know?
I think you've done a great job of pulling that together.
Yeah.
And you know what? We can talk about this all night, but we're not going to. So what I would like to ask you to do is to put on your guitar.
Oh. Yeah.
Because I
kinda like way too early.
think well, I don't know. It looked
I
cool.
was out there like,
you were
all right.
chilling with it, and let's hear a couple more songs. I'm gonna hand the show back to you.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know how you know what to do with it.
I know what to do.
You do.
All right. Let's do this.
And let's hear a little bit more, a little bit different. Going into a different section, new set. I'll see you in a little bit.
Oh, shit. Okay. Okay. Oh. This is the song, by the way, that I wrote my first little short film to. If that short film gets like any daylight, that'd be great. But either way, this is the song that did it for me. So it means a lot to me. Either way.
Wanna know about your story. I don't want you to hold me. Give me your heart, I won't break it. Though I get nervous, I get anxious. I'll be there when you're hurting. Can't fake like I don't care, but I'm burning. Knowing our hearts were all deserted. Knowing our hearts were all hurting. I'll take my cigarettes, you take your coffee. Promise you won't look back, that you don't want me. I don't wanna fall apart, you don't want a broken heart. So I'll take my cigarettes, you take your coffee. Let's just keep passing by. Let's just keep passing by. Let's just keep passing by. You know all my bad habits, but you still read my caption. Don't look at my heart, you just take it. This isn't worth it, let's stay vacant. So I'll take Let's just keep passing by. Let's just keep passing by. Let's just keep passing by. Let's just keep passing by.
Thank you. Thanks, y'all. It is a bit of a tier one, you know. So, yeah. All right. Well, this is probably one of my first songs that ever did anything for me. So this is it acoustic, you know. The very, very first song I played was like the very first song, but this is the one that kind of like just got a little bit more attention. So this is all right. This is acoustic though. I'm a mess. Drink my tears short of breath. Is alright. Alright. Need to rest. Drink my tears to my stress. Is alright. Alright. I don't feel like a motherfucking stone. I don't feel I could ever be sober. Is that alright? Alright. When I see your face, I get high on taste. I can't find my way to a better place. Alright. Oh, is that alright? Is that alright? Is that alright? Sometimes I feel like I can go for my just drink a glass of champagne and coast and wait until I go psycho. Is that alright? Alright. And do you think that I can stay a while? Yeah, you think I'm insane, but I can make you feel like a model. Is that alright? Oh, is that alright? Is that alright? Is that alright? I don't feel like a motherfucking stone. I don't feel I can never be sober. Is that alright? Alright. When I see your face, I can't hide my face. I just find myself to better place. Alright. Oh, is that alright? Is that alright? Is that alright? Alright. Woo! Yeah! Woo! It's getting hot here in Studio
TRUVONNE.
A.
TRUVONNE.
Yeah.
TRUVONNE.
For real.
I like I really love everything you're doing. I really love your voice. We need to get those lights off of you though. Or bring up like come on, can we make them like not
What do you mean? You see the sweat?
No, I was like, man, it's all flashing and something is happening now.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
that works. That's a little harsh. That's a little harsh. Let's see. Yeah, no, that's, whatever. Look, technology, if that's our tech issue for tonight, I will take that.
Good.
So I want to ask you a question right now.
Here we go.
This is the one of the night.
Oh, okay.
I've never asked this on the show ever.
Yeah, so it says.
Ever.
So it-
Can you tell me, how do you feel the market performed today?
Oh my gosh. First of all, the market performed terribly. All of the stocks that I have, I know for a fact went down. The market was down. Dow was down. S&P 500 was down.
NASDAQ?
And NASDAQ was down as well. The market completely totaled down. If anyone's looking for any advice, let me just tell you, fixed income, well, I'm not necessarily a financial advisor. I am a broker. I am a broker, technically. But I will tell you, fixed income, meaning bonds.
Bonds.
Treasury
Yeah.
bonds,
Nope. That's
money
been
markets.
that's
seem
been
to
the
be
jam
on
for-
the up and up.
It's been the jam for a little while.
Yeah, everything else is down.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
No, I just had to bring that up.
yeah, you know it's real. Yeah, I know.
Excuse
I coughed
me,
too.
waybackers.
I did the same thing.
Yeah,
I
that
did
just-
the same thing when I woke up this morning.
You
I
made
said,
me choke.
Well, hot damn. Yeah, same thing. No different. Let
There
it
we
out.
are.
Let it out. I'm doing the same thing
That's what's
in my
happening.
mind. I know how much money I lost.
Don't we all? So, let's see here. I think it's, for me, I'm going to reflect on tonight for a second. I don't
Yes.
usually do this, but, I was very apprehensive coming into tonight. I even talked to a couple of friends, and I actually told you that.
Probably.
And I think that this goes to show me that it doesn't matter. Every premise that we've put forth on this show to be diverse, to bring in different musical genres, styles, not to be afraid of it. And, I wouldn't say frightened, but it was definitely something where I was challenged to wrap my head around how tonight's show would go. And I think that it went just perfect.
I think it's
Is what I think. I've
fantastic.
enjoyed having you on so
It's so
much.
comfortable.
Yeah,
Like,
I
always get nervous with this setup. Anything that will.
Well, you know what? We
And-
hang out well too.
Oh yeah, I feel like you and I can crack open a couple of beers
Just a hang out.
and we'll just chill.
This is
We'll chill
easy
for a little
stuff.
bit. Yeah.
So
easily.
I'm going to not scream into the mic because I'm gonna hear all about this from Studio B later tonight in the
yeah.
in the wrap up
100%.
meeting that we have to see how we all performed and did. And I am going to ask you kindly. Do you have one last song for us tonight,
do.
True? You
I do.
Of course you do. I love you. It is your show. We'll see
I
you in a few
do.
minutes.
I have this this little song here that will never be released. So you'll probably only hear it here. Only here. Glad you're tuned in. Just wait. Warm all the way. About to be extremely warm there, Jake.
I saw a different part of you when you lost your sense of timeline. I saw a different part of you when I kissed your lips the one night. Do you wanna know how far this goes? You wanna know how far this goes? I heard you whisper in my ear, darling, I can't see you. I heard you whisper in my ear, darling, I can't see you. Do you wanna know how far this goes? You wanna know how far this goes?
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
True.
Yeah.
I just love your voice. I
my
love what
God.
you do. You know, I love that you can push me into a place that is maybe slightly uncomfortable
get
and
that
and
place,
and
Adam.
and,
Together.
and still have the hug at the end. That's what I'm
Gotta
saying.
have our cuddles.
Waybackers, we have reached that point that happens every Thursday, you know. Next week, we are off. It was scheduled. Unlike last week, I'm sorry, I was sick. That was all my fault. Next week, we will be dark. We'll try and toss something at you. But following up, we've got the season crushing. We've got Let Alone coming up. We've got a band called Remedy RX that you probably haven't seen or heard of, and you need to. So we're very excited. TRUVONNE, we can't thank you enough for being in here. Yeah. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I
Thank
mean,
you, Adam.
you know, yeah, you.
My God.
This just set yet another tone for the show, and
Yes.
hopefully keeps everybody on their toes and guessing what the heck's going to happen. You know what, Waybackers? I want to, you know what, Dorian Green, you're awesome. David Skinner, I'm glad that you loved it. Tom in China right now,
Hey,
if you're
Tom.
still on. You know, Travis, thanks for piping in. Hopefully James is with you there. Jay Ryan, awesome to see you there. Austin, I'm so sorry we did not get to that gear question, but I know that was going to add an hour to the show, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you know,
answer
it's
it
like
quick.
usually I go into this gear thing, but you know what? We are going to wrap things up, and I would love to introduce any of you to True that would like to be introduced. So hit me up. You know how to find me, thewaybacksessions.com. Just in pure Wayback fashion, we're going to drop the needle on an album as we leave the venue, bring up the house lights, and kick the cans out of the way on our, you know, ready to drive home, I guess. So, love you guys. We will see you in 2 weeks. Cheers from the Wayback.
Ow! That's a wrap. guys.
Woo! That's great.
Awesome job.
Whew, man, my shoulder is giving. I was like, where is this coming from? Where is this pain coming from? Like,
So, we leave the cameras running for a while because people love to watch this. Which
this part of it?
Yeah.
This part of it? Oh! Oh, it was great. Oh my god.
So glad.
That's great. It's crazy because like your practice sessions compared to like what it sounds like live, I don't know, it's always better to me.
Oh, yeah.
It's always better. Like your practice sessions some like absolute shit, and then it's like all of a sudden it's like, all right, Jake, let's turn up the gear. Thanks, Cat. Lord have mercy. My neck was
Here,
tripping.
I'm gonna do this. Let's see if Shelby can.
I had a feel. You know what's crazy? Yo, Adam, I had a
Yep.
feeling there was gonna be a question about gear. I had a feeling.
No, you know what? Because usually I chase
Well, there were
the gear
so many
thing.
different things to go into.
There were so many things.
Yeah.
I mean, this could have gone on long. Like I told you, like we're about an hour and a half. I
thought
know.
we were short.
It just
I was actually concerned that we were short.
look. It just happens. Like I told you, quickly the lights go away.
It must just flow. I thought we were short. I was
Lights
like,
go
oh.
away. The cameras go away. And we're just hanging out. We're just hanging out.
That was
Hour and a
actually,
half. Right where it should be.
I don't know why I thought we were short. I was like, oh fuck. I was like, maybe I didn't my section long enough or whatever. And I was like, oh, well, maybe it's not.
And there is no long and short. There is no right and wrong. It is literally.
Well, if you want, we're still on. We can plug in the half stack and you can do guitar solos for like a half hour.
we could fire up the Marshall and
You
use
do
We're
some
not doing
tapping? Dude, it gets a wasp head on.
I
Gets a
bet that
wah-wah.
strap would sound great.
Everyone, you're funny.
look so
You're all funny.
good.
I mean, we can definitely talk about the gear. I mean, it's a pretty deep, like, yeah. I mean,
If you brought her mic up right now,
If you want.
it's on, so you can talk to him.
Talk to him.
yeah, if anyone's still there, I mean, as far as gear-wise,
It's on the gear.
yeah, I mean, I have the Ableton Push here, Ableton Push 2. Everything is ran through pretty much this. So a lot of my features, a lot of the features, a lot of the sounds, everything's pretty much ran through this. All electronic instruments from here. And then I do have my complete MK, like, what is it? M32, which is the saving grace. This is actually my studio I actually bring this from the studio here, so this is actually what I use in the actual studio. I usually just bring this. I don't do anything outside of this 32 keys. I do have something that is longer than that, probably like a 80-something key, but I make music out of that, and I worry about live later, but to condense it, I usually do this type of setup, and I just change the octaves. I very much so change the octaves, and that's where you hear everything. Other than that, I have the Complete Audio 6 here, which this is my interface. Everything can run through this, so I don't have to worry about anything else. So audio-wise, I came in here, plugged up here. Everything's going to run out of here. These two instruments are going to run through here, through my other instrument, which is my overhub. Anyone that does anything electronic, this is essential for you to have. Because this is going to have, I have 8 audio hubs here, which means I have pretty much 8 USBs here. So if I had more instruments, it would run through here, and this is probably the most important thing I will say to have, period, point blank, besides the cat. So everything is like here, that's it. I used to have way more condensive. I used to have like 6 pieces of gear. But now, since this push came out, thank the Lord, I don't have to do half the shit that I used to. So now, all the effects, if I want to run effects here, I can see them all here. And then I can literally change the attack, change the release, change everything through here. Depending on the set, I can change the sets. First of all, I can change the sets. And I can go through here, here. Change that. If I have a delay effect on here, I can change that, sample, everything. So everything's ran through these instruments. Thank you. End of song.
That's that.
And the computer.
And the computer.
Because, bro, the push made everything easier. I go through Ableton, so if you don't have Ableton, I don't really know what to say.
Austin, if you're still watching, hopefully that helped you out.
Oh,
a bit.
wait. Merlot? Pinot Noir? Hold on. Is that a red blend?
Yeah.
I think I just heard her, honestly. I don't even think I...
But Shelby's looking for True.
I was actually thinking about killing a bird.
She was like, well, she was like,
knock me down.
I was thinking about jumping on the electronics. If I could just kind of walk on all the flashing lights,
Yeah.
then I think.
Dude, she was pressing pads.
I know.
And I was like, oh, she out here making music.
She's like,
She's like, fuck all you guys. That's great.
yeah, so good, right? I mean, there's still piles of people watching this for whatever reason.
Because they want to see me actually twerk out here in these streets. And they're not going to see me twerk out here in these streets. Yeah, that's what they thought they would see. But you're not going to see me do that.
We need the bob.
Oh man. So, may I check this out?
Absolutely.
Your guitar?
Yeah. My little butterscotch, that's what I named her. Well, because she looks like a butterscotch.
Here's the blonde, son.
Why was I like, why did they take me on? And I was like, yeah. Yeah, I am.
Yeah. That's,
My ex-girlfriend was a redhead, but we're going to leave that alone. Yeah. Well, from New York. So, she didn't play no shit, so.
So come with me.
Oh, you look good with butterscotch. Baby, chill.
Yeah, no, actually, it's a great color combo, especially with the black. Waybackers, vote in. Is it a feather strap or?
Ooh, or the Oh. I don't even know what we're allowed to say anymore.
Man, it's so good.
I was
Man.
like, I don't even know what we're allowed to say.
You don't want me plugged in.
It's the non-American.
You know what I'm trying to say. And that is a legitimate. Oh, well, they can guess.
Oh, God.
That's an American strat, though.
Is it getting swampy in here?
I mean,
Ew. Is it getting... Oh! Moist? That's that word everyone loves.
This is not. Well, you know what? We've actually had this conversation on the show before.
Dude, people hate that word. I don't understand.
Yeah. So it's a whole
Moist is
thing.
not like...
No, but
no, it's not a bad word.
it wasn't a bad word, and we were allowed to use it on the show. We determined.
On the show. Absolutely. Or, if you want to describe a chord as moist, like,
You can.
That D minor.
Dude, they're wet and dry, so why can't it be moist in the middle?
just keep
Waybackers,
Moist, moist,
you
moist,
guys
moist,
are awesome. Thank you so much for another lovely evening. We will see you in a couple of weeks.
Moist,
Cheers
moist,
from the
moist,
way
moist,
back.
moist, 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 moist,